Thank you, girls and guys. Instead of ladies and gentlemen, I like the word girls and guys because it's more unofficial. Make you feel so much younger. The way that you look forward. In fact, SK never paid me any tuition for what he learned from me. I'm going to work it out with you somehow, okay? And if he did learn that from me, what he mentioned, I'll throw that away because it's completely wrong. To be a good project manager, there's only one principle. That is, how to use the people around you to achieve what you want to do. That's all you need to know about all the knowledge that you have learned. Put that in the garbage bin. You can have all the knowledge. You don't want to be a scholar, right? You really want to deliver a project. And delivering project is really talking about people. So, you want to be a good project manager, either a great project manager or a competent project manager, is to learn how to use the people around you to achieve what you want to do. So, this is the first thing about project management. We're going to spend, I'm not going to take up the whole afternoon, but I'll spend some time with you, sharing with you some of the information that I have about people. Stakeholder didn't come to our vision until 1996. Before that, we talk about user, we talk about customer, but then we categorize those people who may affect the project into what we call the stakeholder. I mean, that guy who designed that term as a stakeholder must be a gambler. You know, I mean, the only thing that they think about is how to bet on those people that can help them. In fact, stakeholder is not really by trying to feel your luck when you are doing the project. It's really trying to strategically manage them and be able to identify who those stakeholders are. In some project you might have worked on, in common description that anybody involved with that project is a stakeholder. But in some project, you may have 3, 5, or thousands of stakeholders. Are you going to manage every one of them? You just can't. So PMI left out one word in front of stakeholder, that is key stakeholder. That's the word that is missing in PMBOK. Identify what are the key stakeholders are. Those are the key. Those are the people that can help you or break you in the project that you are going to deliver. I run across a lot of people all over the world for the last 40-something years running my project. As I keep saying that apart from Alaska, I have literally delivered projects in all parts of the world. And I've seen all kinds of people. Being able to manage different types of projects, that back in 2003, I believe, one of the professors in Australia did a very interesting study trying to identify how important is politics play the part in making or breaking a project in delivery. Now, what she's really talking about is not really large, major project, but also small project as well. Politics can be internal politics of organization or political politics in the nation, okay? In other words, you have to figure out somehow, there's something that people doesn't like. When you try to implement a system, I mean, most of you come from ICT, right? Okay. When you try to implement a system at the user department, okay, and the user didn't feel that it is the right system for them. I mean, that's why you have to go back and rework, right? That's why you keep delaying the sign-off of the project. They didn't really feel like that what you have delivered to them is good for their job. What did they do? Well, they reluctantly sign on, but refuse to use the system. I learned that 30 years ago, because we put in a user environment at some of the sales office, and those people refuse to use the computer. They prefer to pick up the phone, call the person that they want to talk to, and get the answer, and then pass on the result to the customer, to their customer. So, what's the reason? The reasons are people are reluctant to change. They don't want to make change because you want them to, because you feel that this is the right for them. They only want to change because only they know that they will get the better way of doing things themselves. Okay. Try to put yourself into the situation. Every day you go to work. Do you drive? How many of you drive to work? Okay. Now, ask yourself a question. You leave the house around the same time, right? You take your path more or less the same, unless there is major traffic accident in front that you have to detour. And most likely, you want to park your car about the same spot that you used to. I mean, of course, I'm assuming that you are not senior enough to have a designated parking spot. So, you try to park it where you are. For those who don't drive, you will probably go to the same bus stop or train stop or whatsoever, and stand approximately the same place without really changes. You don't? You stand at different places? Ask yourself, when you go to the washroom, where you stand? It's the same place that you feel like it is my home. Okay. That's people nature. But a lot of things really can impact your behavior, your users' behavior. And to be a good manager, a good project manager, you really need to see how to bring your users' mindset into your own. Okay. Highlight the fact that they are the ones who finally use the solution that you are delivering, and therefore you have to strategize from the very beginning. How am I going to pull him or pull her on board to be part of the team? This is one of the things in a good way is let's work as a team. In a negative way to say that is that let's use them to our own benefit. Okay. These are some of the critical success factors for running a project. Whatever, these are the internal stakeholder or external stakeholder. You know, there are so many people around the world that have nothing to do. All they do every day is to sit down and see what else can they complain about the life surround them. You know, like the reporter. I hope there's no reporters around. I mean, to them, the only thing that really attracts them is to find out something, or maybe some project that you're doing, that they can criticize you, you know, that you are not environmental friendly, that you are disturbing the peace of the neighborhood, so on and so forth, in view of making a name for themselves. Right? Now, this is what I call external stakeholders. They have nothing to do with the project you're doing, but they like to know how to ruin your life. As long as you go down the drain, they are happy. Now, these kind of stakeholders are critical. In fact, sometimes, even though you hate them, but you still have to make friends with them. And in order to make friends with them, you have to strategize, how am I going to use them to my benefit, to pull them on my side? One of the recent research projects that I'm doing now, it was purely a research project. But some international journalists used that particular project as an indication how the communist government, well, I come from China now, right? How the communist government used that project to track dissidents, making sure that no one will say the negative voice. In fact, that's not the objective. But then, I mean, anyone who creates some kind of product or deliverable, sometimes it's all in a good sense. Like Nobel, he developed dynamite, not for people to use it for war. It was made really for, for mining purpose, simplify the life of the miners. But then some smart guy used it for war. How can you handle that? You can't. I mean, after all, he didn't realize people use his invention to make war. Otherwise, I don't think he would die with his eye closed. Right? Sure. I mean, if I know that one day the Chinese government using my project to really track the dissident, I wouldn't close my eyes when I die. Identify the critical success factors means understanding who these critics and skeptics are. They will all have their kind of personal agenda that they want to achieve. Okay. Besides, they don't have no real job. Those people don't really have a lot of, well, majority of them don't really have a real job. Their job is find out how to ruin your life. And in that sense, they can spend all day looking at how they can possibly give out the wrong kind of information and make people believe. I mean, it is such an unfortunate situation that most people, even no matter how well educated you are, sometimes will follow rumors blindly. Okay? When people once said that, they believe. You won't believe it. Even I myself sometimes do the same. A few days ago, before I come over, somebody told me the natural disaster in Japan, okay, with the earthquake, with the tsunami, and then the radiation leak. He said, you know why the Japanese government spends so much effort in salvaging the radiation plant? Instead of spending the effort and time to save the victim, help the victim? I said, I don't know. I wasn't there. I was in Australia. Japan is right on the top of the world. So, he said, because the Japanese government is using that radiation plant to develop nuclear weapon. That's why they have to try to cover it and try to salvage it as much as they can without letting the world know. That's why they put the emphasis into saving the radiation plant. Do you believe it? Why not? It can be true. Can you prove it? No. So how do you decide? Is it the facts or non-facts? How will you look at Japan now with this information in your mind? You will be skeptical, right? They are developing nuclear weapon. But when you think about it, well, he gave him more facts to believe in because of that particular situation. That's why the U.S. Army withdraw from the disastrous scene. That's why the U.S. evacuate all the embassy staff. Because they were afraid. See, I see people nodding their head already. This is a bloody fraud. This is a joke that I make up. It is a rumor. I was the skeptic, the critic of what happening to Japan's horrible situation. Okay? This is fact. They are saying people that have nothing to do, just like what I did, making up story, making up people to believe. Okay? And you have to be very careful because sometimes, whatever you do, your life will be ruined. If not ruined by the project, then the project will ruin you. In fact, politics is major issue. How much time I still have left? I was involved with the European Galileo satellite program. It is supposed to, by this time, we should have about 7 or 8 satellites circulating above the orbit, the world orbit. 2005, when we started this program, there was 15 nations in Europe that was part of it. It is already 3 years behind schedule. It's not because technology-wise or funding-wise or resource-wise that we can't do what we want to do. It is the politician of the European Union. Now, instead of 15 before, now it's 25 nations. What they're doing now, because it's arguing about how much benefit we can get out of this program. Everybody say, like, why the Italian government can handle this, we can't. Why the French is responsible for developing this part of the project and we are left out of it. And all this type of political game that the politicians are trying to find out is causing this project 3 years behind schedule. And we have no way of understanding when we can finish it. Most likely, the Chinese program will finish before they even start rolling the ball for the satellite. You will have to try to understand how to change the mindset of people in order to deliver what you want to deliver in any type of project. You have to be able to influence people, okay? Make people believe that whatever you do is their own good. And the best way of getting it done is let them be part of it. 2 days ago in the workshop, I told some of our delegates the difference between getting people committed and involved. Like this morning I was saying to SK, every one of you that come here to this particular function is committed to be here for a few hours, pay your admission fee, and you try to learn, right? What do you get out of it? Except hearing what the other mentioned, saying that may be irrelevant to you. And all those things that I talk about really is irrelevant to your work, right? Would that be part of your work in your project? Probably not. What SK should do is to get you involved. The podium is really for you. Regularly stand up here, present your case, how I succeed or how I fail, so that the others can really learn from you being on the podium. That is getting you involved into this activity rather than just committing yourself to be here on this particular day. Get the thing rolling so that they can be the speaker instead of people like us. We should be the audience because we're still learning, okay? I'll try to make it quick. Well, see, accident does happen. Technology, sometimes you can't trust. Okay. Gee, I didn't know I'm halfway to the moon already. To you, quick one, to be a good project manager, the key thing is keep your eyes open, because there can be things that happen beyond your knowledge. Why do you have to keep, you have a question there? Oh, I saw someone raising her hand, but she was scratching. Isn't that another problem of keeping my eyes open? Too open. In fact, keeping your eyes open is very important. Sometimes some small action presented by your staff members, you can anticipate potential problem. Like if someone has said, boss, I want to take half a day off tomorrow, okay? And you say, sure, no problem. 2 weeks later, they come up to you and say, I need another half a day, my family is having a problem. Now, I will start thinking, he doesn't have any problem. He's looking for another job, already going through the second interview. So I better find out whether I'm going to lose him or not. Now, that's not like, I mean, keeping your eyes open. That's part of the risk anticipation or avoidance exercises. Get those people on your side, if possible, okay? Don't just let them criticize. If you get them on board, they won't criticize no more because they are already part of it. If they have to criticize, they are criticizing themselves. And there's something we never do, is criticizing ourselves, right? So, get them on board. Get them to be part of the team. It's important. Never try to fight them. Never argue with them. Those people you can't argue with. You can't sometimes reason with. But try to understand the concern and try to address the concern. This probably will work sometime, and sometime may not. Be transparent, be open, be able to let them understand how are we delivering it, address everything that their concern is all about, and really how to address their uncertainty. I always say one thing, you know, you're the project manager, then manage the project. Don't be managed by the projects. And I hope all of you in the future will be a true project manager instead of now running behind the project, handling all the change requests, making rework and everything. Your life now is being managed by project. So next time when I see you, I hope I'm talking to real project managers. Thanks very much.